Welcome to the Irresistible You podcast. This is the place to get a dose of empowerment to create the life you crave and deserve. I'm your host, Amy Beltran, CEO and founder of Irresistible University. Through my signature online coaching program, I teach women just like you how to ditch the body image issues, gain confidence, and lose the emotional weight to look and feel irresistible at any size. If you would like to learn what it's like to work with me inside of my program and see if you're a good fit for enrollment, please schedule a free confidence clarity call at irresistibleacing.com/call. The link is also in the show notes. Welcome back to the Irresistible You podcast. If you are new, welcome. And if you are a longtime listener, welcome back. This episode today is going to be for you if you have found yourself constantly saying, I know what to do to lose weight, but I'm just not doing it. I guess I just don't want it bad enough. How many times have you had this conversation with yourself, or you have felt the utter frustration of wanting something so bad, feeling as if this is the thing that you want more than anything else in the world, but then your actions are not aligning with that want and desire? And when your actions don't align with your want and desire, what do you feel like? You feel like a failure. You feel like you keep letting yourself down, and you keep quitting on yourself, and you keep self-sabotaging yourself. And that is one of the most frustrating feelings ever. And what I want to say here is, if you're listening to this podcast and the content that I create and the message behind Irresistible You resonates with you, I know that you don't have an issue with wanting. The wanting, the desire, that is not the problem. And even asking yourself, well, I guess I just don't want it bad enough. If I know that I have this problem, if I know I want it more than anything in the world and I'm not doing it, well, maybe I just don't want it bad enough. That's not the issue either. The issue is not how bad do you want it, but rather, why do you deserve to lose the weight for the last time? What kind of life are you holding hostage? Are you putting on hold by not losing the weight and continuing to self-sabotage yourself? That's what I really want you to start asking yourself, because that's what really matters here. It's not a desire issue. It's not a want issue. It's not wanting it bad enough. It's the want and the desire are not lining up with the actions, and they're not lining up with your actions because you haven't defined what your why is, so you don't have that anchor. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to find your why so that you can lose your weight for the very last time. Okay? And first and foremost, weight loss has to come from a place of self-love. It cannot come from a place of hating yourself. And when I say that, I mean in the sense of, losing your weight for the last time so that you're not continuing to cycle on the yo-yo diet body hate shame cycle. And so weight loss, shouldn't be looked at as this form of punishment. And I bet you, if you sat there and you thought about, I want you to think about all the ways that you've tried to lose weight in the past. And I doubt that any of those methods or plans or whatever you did were done with any level of compassion and empathy. And I know for a fact they didn't address the emotional weight that you're carrying. And so you're not going to get to your goal weight and suddenly feel like this overwhelming sense of like, oh my God, I'm amazing. I have all this self-love and respect, and I'm worthy, and this and this and that. You get to your goal weight, or you get close enough when you do it from self-hatred, and you find ways to self-sabotage yourself. And so your goals and your want and your desire is not aligning with the actions that you're taking. And so we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how to have a why. What is a why? And why do you need a why, right? And it really does. It comes down to if you keep cycling through this, like I said before, it's like you feel like a failure. You feel like you're not good enough. You feel like there must be something wrong with you. And you sit there and think, well, it must just be a willpower issue. And that is not the case here. You are keeping yourself running ragged on the yo yo diet body hate shame cycle because you don't have a top of mind list of compelling reasons, or AKA your why. And so, of course, your want and desire, everybody wants to lose weight. Everybody wants to, have a certain type of lifestyle. But your actions have to align with that same desire. And if you don't have a set of compelling reasons or a why, of course you're going to continue to self-sabotage yourself. So when we talk about on the podcast here, we talk about having a why. We're not just talking about having one thing. Having one reason to want to lose weight, that's not really a thing. And so I think, what happens so often is that you think your reason to want to lose weight has to be this like sweeping, crazy, like sign that just shows up. Like I have to see a sign. I have to find a sign. I have to find that I just have to have this epiphany on why I need to lose the weight. And thinking that you have to just find this one thing. And I feel like that's where, I know for me, especially in the past, where I started to make a mistake is it's not just one reason. It's not one reason. So when we talk about your why, it's a set of compelling reasons that are going to prevent you from quitting on yourself over and over again. Think of your set of compelling reasons or your why as a list that gives you ammunition when the inner fat bitch shows up. When the inner fat bitch shows up with all her stuff and all the crazy stuff she wants to say, you need to have this power list, these things that are so compelling that you're able to shut that bitch down. Here's the deal. Another reason why you need to have a set of compelling reasons or a why. Anybody listening to this podcast can feel motivated. You can listen to one of my podcast episodes, you can binge listen to the podcast, and you can feel super motivated, like, yes, girl, I got this, I'm ready to do the damn thing. You can read a self-help book, and feel motivated right after. You can feel super motivated after you've done your pretty meal planning on Pinterest. But then, in the moment of your real life, when you're tired, you're stressed out, you're overwhelmed, you're anxious, you're depressed, all the things, all the feelings, all the emotions. When you're in the thick of living your life, just listening to a podcast or just meal planning on Pinterest is not going to be motivating enough, because in that moment, sitting on the couch, eating cheesecake, zoning out, numbing out will always, I promise you, feel easier. And that will always win the battle when you have not created your set of compelling reasons for why this matters. Why you matter. Why you deserve to lose the weight. Why you deserve to finally create the life that you crave. In that moment, if you haven't defined what those reasons are, it will always feel more comfortable. And it will always feel like a battle in your mind. And it will always feel like the inner fat bitch is the winner. So you have to have this list. You have to have these convictions, this reasons why you deserve to stop quitting on yourself. You deserve to stop self-sabotaging yourself when all you want to do is hide away and watch TV and eat your cheesecake and zone out the rest of the world. Right? And, like I said before too, having one compelling why, that's not enough. That is not enough. And if you have been and you are an emotional eater and you've always been the quote unquote fat girl, you had this identity your entire life, I already know, girl, like you have more than one reason why losing weight is important to you. You have more than one reason why you're ready to change your life for the last time. So I want you to stop sitting around waiting for this sign to drop out of the sky, for this epiphany to happen, for you to just think, oh, there's this one thing and there's this one thing that's going to keep me motivated. That is not true. It has to be more than one thing. Because we are not that simplistic of a creature, like as human beings, right? We're a lot more complex than just one reason. So, here's just like a great example. Your kids can surely be one of your compelling reasons, but it shouldn't be the only thing. And if that's what you've been doing in the past, no wonder you keep starting and stopping. No wonder you keep self-sabotaging. No wonder the inner fat bitch wins every single time. Like, that's noble and everything that your kids are your reason, but they can't be the only reason. Having one why is not enough. You need to have a set of compelling reasons why you deserve to lose the weight for the last time. And fitting into, like, here's another example. Fitting into a certain size by a self-imposed deadline, that is not a long-term sustaining why. That could be one of your reasons. That could be a driving force, but it cannot be the only thing. And so think about it. All the times that you go on these bullshit diets where you're like, oh my God, girl, I got to fit in, this bathing suit or this dress for the reunion, for the wedding, for the cruise, for the whatever. When that's your motivation and your why, yeah, of course you keep gaining back the weight when the cruise is over. And here's the story. Well, I went on the cruise and I was doing so good up until the cruise. And then I went on the cruise and I was drinking and eating all the things. And now I just can't get back to it. And I fell off the wagon and I'm such a failure. I don't know what's wrong with me. I know what to do. I'm just not doing it. I guess I don't want it bad enough. See? There's the cycle. There's the thing that you keep doing over and over again. Because just having this, like, trying to fit and weigh a certain number or wear a certain size by a certain date, that is never going to sustain you in the long term. And what I'm talking about is you losing weight for the last time. If you're just looking for a quick fix and you're looking to see, how you can get the weight off for the next cruise or the next wedding, turn the podcast off and find somebody else. I'm not for you, boo. This is for women that want more than just the weight loss. This is for women that know there is a life bigger than what they have right now that they are holding hostage because there's so much shame wrapped up in their weight. This is for women that have this life they dream about, this life they crave, and they're not going after it because all they've ever been is the fat girl. And all they've ever been is the person that gets made fun of. And all they've ever been is the fat girl that gets chosen last. So what we talk about here and what we teach here is so much bigger than weighing a certain number or fitting in a certain size by a certain date. If that's what you're looking for, bye. Because that's not what I do here. What I do here is so much bigger than weight loss. It is about transforming your entire effing life. It is about you no longer sitting on the sidelines, wishing and hoping you could be like other women that are going after their dreams. This is about playing a bigger game. This is about showing up for yourself. This is about refusing to sit around and play small because you don't want someone to see you because of your size. This is so much bigger than that. This is so much bigger than a stupid ass detox tea or an Instagram waist trainer. We don't do that stuff here. So your list of compelling reasons why, your list has to be enough for you to punch the inner fat bitch in the face when she shows up at 7 o'clock at night, when you're tired, when you're stressed out, and you just want to shove your face in a bunch of cupcakes and sit in the bathtub. That is what having these compelling reasons is all about. And so you want your list of whys, your compelling reasons, you want these to become top of mind. This has to be something that is so in your face that you see on purpose every single day. You know, how many times in the past did you hang up a pair of jeans or something in the bathroom or in your closet, which was like your motivation? And again, that's fine, but you have to have more things than a effing pair of jeans hanging up in the closet. There has to be more than that. Because that's not going to be enough in those moments of weakness when you're going through the thickness of real life. When you're in the thick of it, just having a pair of jeans hanging up in your closet is not going to be motivating enough. So as you start to come up with your reasons why, they have to be in your face. You have to look at them on purpose every single day. So we're going to talk about how to do this. But as you start to create your list, you want it top of mind. So I would set it up as a note on your phone. I would put it as even a screensaver on your phone. I have mine as a Google document that I can pull up anywhere. You can have it in an old-fashioned notebook that you just write down. Whatever works for you, there is no wrong or right way to do this. Okay? So let's just talk about how to find your why. And this is really simple because, again, things that you've probably heard in the past is that you have to have one compelling reason. And that is not true. Just having one compelling reason is not going to be enough to sustain you. And so the way that I like to do this is I like to just, and I recently did this again now that I am back on an active weight loss journey, trying to lose, or not, we're not going to use the word try, losing the baby weight, losing the pregnancy weight. And I had to go back and do my list again because I know that is a big part of this journey. Losing weight is not, let me just see what diet I can go on. How can I lose the weight the fastest? It is truly about the emotional weight that's attached to it. We have to address that. We have to figure out what is driving us emotionally because you're an emotional eater. You're not currently using logic to make your decisions. And when you're tired and stressed out and you just want to veg out in front of the TV and the inner fat bitch is knocking you on the shoulder, logic is not going to win unless you've done some work ahead of time, right? It's the emotions that are going to win. So you just want to get out a piece of paper or a Google Doc or whatever, and I want you to do a brainstorm. But here's what's really, really important here, okay? You cannot censor yourself and you cannot judge yourself for all of the reasons. So whatever comes to mind, write it down. Do not censor yourself. Do not judge yourself. And do not write down some bullshit stuff that you think you should be saying. There is no right or wrong answer here. This is personal. This is, just for you to see. This is just about you. And so you get to decide what goes on your list. Okay? And you're going to keep writing and writing and writing and writing until you literally can't write anymore. And I will tell you, I sat down to do this in just a couple of minutes. I did it in like less than 10 minutes. And I'm up to like 40 reasons why. 40. Okay? And I will say this, your compelling reasons, your why, it will evolve over time. Now, I had done this before a while ago. It's been a while since I've done this. And I noticed that this time, my list, while there were some similarities, there were some things that were the same. There were things on here this time there were things on my old list that weren't here this time. For example, I think on my old list I had written something like, I don't want to hate myself anymore. I didn't even have to write that this time because of the work that I've already done, because of the emotional weight that I've already lost, because of the relationship I've built with myself over the last couple of years. I don't hate myself just because I've gained my weight back. I don't. I don't like where I am physically, but I don't hate me. I don't hate my body as a result. And so, as you evolve and as you grow and as you lose emotional weight and you lose the physical weight, your list of compelling reasons, it will evolve as well. And so I think this is a practice and an activity that you should do on a regular basis because, what might be driving you initially might look and feel differently 6 months from now. And there will be things on there that are the same. I certainly have things on there today that I had on there years ago, right? And here's one of my, I don't know, I may share some of my whys at some point, but for me, a lot of them are very personal. But one of the reasons I wrote down is that I never, ever again want to wake up one day and just wonder why, wonder how I've gained back the weight. We talk a lot about the whole zombie walking concept here, where you're kind of asleep at the wheel and one day you wake up and you realize your jeans don't fit or your shorts don't fit and you're like, oh my God, how did I get here again? I don't ever want to feel that way again. And I haven't felt that way in many years now because I'm now in control. The weight doesn't happen to me. When you put weight on, it is because of decisions and choices that you made. And there's only, one reason how the weight comes on. So it's not like you just wake up one day and it comes back. It's because you were asleep at the wheel. It's because you were zombie walking it through life. And this will always be a compelling reason for me is I don't ever want to feel out of control in that way again. Ever. And this time around was very different. Like, obviously I've gained my weight because I just had a baby. So it wasn't like I was sitting around numbed out, zoned out and going, oh my God, how did this happen? It's a very different experience than the times where I was super depressed in a really dark place. And I wake up 6 months from now and I'm like, oh my God, my jeans don't fit. How did this happen? I don't ever want to have that feeling again. So for me, that is always a compelling reason. I want to feel in control. I want to feel like I'm not a victim in this. I'm not a victim that just wakes up and goes, how did this happen? Oh my God, right? So your compelling reasons can be anything and everything that you want. And I have things on here as vain and surface level as I want to look and feel sexy AF. I do. And here's the thing, guys. When I say I want to look and feel sexy AF, I'm not saying I have to be a certain size to look and feel that way. I will tell you right now, I'm 7 weeks postpartum. I've got 50 pounds that I've got to lose, at least to get back to my pre-pregnancy size. I don't feel sexy whatsoever at the moment. And I don't like that. Have I felt sexy at 200 pounds, 210, 220? You damn right I have. So it's not so much about the number. It's about how do you want to look and feel. And so that's one of my whys is I do want to look and feel that way. So that is very surface level. That is very, some people might say vain or selfish or whatever. And I don't care what anybody says or thinks. I even put on here, I need my hourglass shape back. Right? Like my hourglass shape is it's kind of hidden at the moment. And even, I've never been a skinny girl. I've never been a thin person, but I have always had an hourglass shape no matter my size. And right now, the way things shift and move after the baby and the weight gain, there's no hourglass anything. And I don't like that. I want that shape. That shape makes me feel sexy. That shape makes me feel really good. And there was a time in my life, like, in high school, where I didn't like having that shape. It got me unwanted attention. I felt older than I was, and I thought I was huge. I thought I was so big. Now I'm like, girl, what were you thinking? I'm like, I wish I looked like that right now, right? But it's just like your whys, your compelling reasons, and I'll share maybe some other ones that are a little more serious, like the scare that I had after the baby with all the complications that I shared with you guys, with the high blood pressure, and I had gestational diabetes. One of my compelling reasons, I know in the past I would put I want to be healthy as like what I think I should say. And I think a lot of people do that. Well, I just want to be healthy. But what does that mean? Healthy is such a surface level term. And so I said this time, I don't want to develop type 2 diabetes or have high blood pressure because what I went through already was terrifying. And it was like I had a taste of what that could be like, and I didn't like it. It was so scary. And so for me now, that is a big compelling reason why. Because I'm 39, I'm going to be 40 in, oh my God, 7 months. 7.5 months. Ah! And as I'm getting older, those things are more likely to happen. Right? And I don't want to live like that because I don't want to feel unhealthy. I don't want to be unhealthy in that respect. So your reasons why, and I told you as of right now, I have 40 reasons why. And these are reasons that I have to keep top of mind and I need to look at every single day. So that in those moments where my kids are stressing me out, I'm sleep deprived, I'm tired, I am done, that I don't sit there and DoorDash cheesecake to my house and zone out and numb out and throw all of my goals away. Because all of my compelling reasons have to be bigger than that slice of cheesecake. And it doesn't mean I never eat cheesecake because let me tell you, girl, I do, okay? I do and I still lose weight. But it's about that moderation. It's about making conscious decisions. Because what ends up happening is I'll start over tomorrow, I'll start over tomorrow, I'll start over tomorrow. And next thing you know, it's July 2021 and you've told yourself you're going to start over every day and now you've put on 30, 40 pounds in the meantime, right? So I want you to do this brainstorm. I want you to come up with as many compelling reasons why as possible. And know that you can keep going back to this and you can evolve your list over time because as you reach certain goals, as you as my weight comes off and I start working out again and I get that hourglass shape back, that may not be a top compelling reason for me anymore. Because once I get a certain amount of weight off, that will just happen naturally for me. And I won't have to constantly think about it. Now, it might be a compelling reason why I don't want to gain the weight back again to think about, but it won't be that thing that wins in the moment with the cheesecake. Not wanting to get diabetes or high blood pressure and wanting to be a good example for my kids and wanting to live a long life and those reasons are always going to be compelling. Always. But I have to have more even than just being a good role model for my kids. I have to be even more than I don't want to pass my emotional eating habits on to my kids. Right? So make your brainstorm, put all your compelling reasons, and then you can, if you want, you can also share that with me. If you want to share it with me on Instagram, you can tag me or DM me at Irresistible Icing and let me know what your reasons are. You can also post them inside of our free Facebook group. Our Facebook group is called the Irresistible You Podcast Discussion Group. And that will also be linked in the show notes as well. So if you're not a member, make sure that you go and join. And you can post your compelling reasons there and share that with myself and the other ladies in the group. So I really want you to do this. It's not enough to hear this episode. You have to go and take action. You have to take action if you want to create the irresistible life you know you crave and you deserve. And so the first step you're going to do is you're going to start thinking about and writing down, what is my why? What is my compelling reason? I can go and do this activity right now. I don't need to wait for a sign to drop out of the sky. Girl, this is your sign. Okay, if you need a sign, hey boo, this is your sign. Go do the work. Go do the work. And don't censor yourself. That is the most important piece of this, is you cannot, don't write down like, I want to look sexy for my husband and go, oh, that's so selfish, and scratch. No, like, you go look sexy for your husband. You go do that. Okay? Because that's important too. They are your reasons. They are your whys. And you can't reach your goals like using whys that you think society wants you to have. So you do you. You do you, and you do the things that are going to motivate you, that make you want to do this, that make you want to go on this journey for the very last time. What if this is the last time you ever had to lose weight again? The only way that you're going to lose weight for the last time is when you learn how to lose the emotional weight with it. Because if you don't know how to manage your emotions, and part of managing your emotions is knowing and being self-aware enough when the inner fat bitch taps on your shoulder, and you knowing how to redirect that. You knowing what matters more than eating a donut. That is learning how to manage your emotions. If you don't learn this skill and you don't learn how to manage your emotions in the good and the bad times in your life, you will continue to gain weight the rest of your life. You will continue to run yourself ragged on the yo-yo diet, body, hate, shame cycle. That I can promise. So if you're here to lose weight for the last time, you have to have these skills, because guess what? When the weight comes off, guess what's left? You. You are left with you. And if weight loss is no longer your number one obsession, your number one like thing in life that you've always tried to tackle and accomplish, and then you beat yourself up because you can't do it, if you don't have that narrative anymore because you accomplished it, and you don't like who you are, and you don't like your life, then of course you're going to continue this cycle over and over again. And so that is why this work is so important. It is so important for you to learn how to gain confidence, how to lose the emotional weight, so that you can lose your physical weight for the last time. So that you no longer continue to gain and lose and worry and stress about every little thing, every little event, every party, every holiday, everything that has food. Because you learn how to manage your own emotions. That is the magic key in weight loss. That is what the diet industry is not teaching you how to do. So, on that note, guys, head on over to the free Facebook group. Make sure you request to join. Follow me on Instagram at Irresistible Icing. That is the best way to keep up with me. That is where I post my personal life, my behind the scenes. I talk about new episodes that are coming out, and you can talk to me. You can DM me. Let me know what your compelling reasons are. Also, I would love, if this podcast has helped you in any type of way, if you could do me the biggest favor as, You think of it as an early Christmas gift, if you will. If you could head over to iTunes and leave a rating and review, that would be one of the best ways that you can help support me and help support the podcast, because the more people that review the podcast, the more people get to see the podcast in their in the algorithm. So head over to iTunes, leave a rating and review, catch up with me on social media. I cannot wait to chat with you. We're going to talk about this in the Facebook group this week. Until the next time, stay irresistible. Bye, guys.